leaves that wilt during the daytime becomes erect once again during the evening time. Now, why does that happen? Let us see. Now, during the daytime, when the light intensity is maximum, then the transpiration rate is much higher than the absorption rate. So, the cells become flaccid, they lose water, so they become limp. Now, during the evening time, with respect to the absorption rate, the transpiration rate decreases, so the cells gain back turgidity and becomes erect once again. So the advantages of turgor pressure is the ascent of sap or the water and the minerals up from the roots to the stems and the leaves, and secondly, it gives the erect nature of the plants. Now, if I were to ask you to break this brick wall, what would you do? Yes, you'll apply a pressure or a force on this wall. Now, look at these roots of the tree. These roots grow into the wall and break the wall. Now, how does it do that? Well, these roots must be applying some pressure on the wall to break this wall. And this pressure is nothing but the turgor pressure present in the roots. This turgor pressure helps the roots to not only break the walls, but also to grow beneath the soil. Now, the turgor pressure also causes movements in plants. See, when you touch the leaves of Mimosa pudica plant, then the leaf cells, due to a chemical reaction, lose water and becomes flaccid from turgid. This water moves from the leaves to the other parts of the plant, and thus the leaves close. The effect of turgidity is not only limited in this type of movement, it is also seen in the Venus flytrap plant. When the insect moves inside this part of the plant, the cells of this part, due to internal chemical reaction, lose water. So water moves away from this part of the plant, causing the cells to become flaccid from turgid. Thus it closes and traps the insect in this part. So additionally, to ascent of sap and the stiff nature, turgor pressure also causes the root growth, and it also causes movement in the plant parts. Now, turgidity and flaccidity is also responsible for the opening and closing on stomata on the leaf surface. See, if these guard cells become turgid, then the stomata opens, and if these guard cells loses its water content, it becomes flaccid and it closes. Now, the opening and closing of stomata alters the rate of transpiration. If the stomata remains open, then greater will be the transpiration. If stomata closes, then lesser will be the transpiration. So these are the advantages of turgor pressure. Turgor pressure is also responsible for the opening and closing of stomata. Now, when a cell goes from a turgid condition to a flaccid condition, then what are the internal changes that takes place within the cell? See, because the water concentration is greater inside the cell, water will move out through osmosis, and see, this cytoplasm becomes wrinkled and it shrinks within the cell wall. See, the cell wall also wrinkles, but the cytoplasm leaves the cell wall and shrinks inside. And this process of water moving out of a turgid cell to cause a flaccid condition is known as plasmolysis. And the reverse happens when a flaccid cell becomes a turgid cell by taking in water from outside. See, the cytoplasm which had wrinkled on becoming flaccid becomes stretched during the turgid condition. This process is known as deplasmolysis. So, all movements in the plant body are dependent on turgidity and flaccidity, which in turn is caused by plasmolysis and deplasmolysis.